Oh my gosh. So she stole the boyfriend first. Then her sister got petty. She said it's fine. Dang. Women in the modern day hate men so much that they will let women with nefarious intentions close to them and won't realize it until it's too late. I'm bringing this up because I was scrolling through social media the other day and I started to see stories about women who had their husbands stolen from them by other women. These are married women who had decent men but ended up losing their husband to someone else. And most of the time, that someone was somebody that the wife knew. The first thing I would ask in this situation would be, what wasn't the wife doing? Why was her husband so unsatisfied that he left for another woman? We all know that over a quarter of marriages are sexless, and in almost all marriages, the wife nags the husband constantly. There is a lesson in stories like this. Ladies, you have to satisfy your man and keep your eyes on him at all times. Single women will come for your husband because he married you. Men that are 4s and 5s receives a point, maybe 2, to single women because they are married. That's what we're going to talk about today. The women who had their husbands stolen by another woman.
Get ready with us while I tell a story about when one of my best friends tried to steal my husband. So the other night, I had my friends over. Mary was there, and we were all just like playing games, sitting on the couch, and then one of my friends, we'll call her Jennifer. She was just a little bit off the entire time.
Yeah, she wasn't really talking to us, and she was like sitting with the boys when all the girls were hanging out, which we thought was really weird.
Yeah, and then a couple things happened that night that just rubbed me the wrong way. But the first thing that happened was we were all sitting on the couch, and my husband's sitting like towards the arm of the couch, and Jennifer just starts complaining about her spot and basically demanded to be sitting next to my husband.
And all of us girls were like sitting on the other side of the living room, so it made no sense for her to be like demanding to sit over there because we were all talking over here while the boys were like hanging out.
A funny thing about my friend Jennifer, though, is that we used to be a lot closer back in the day, but recently, I don't know, she doesn't live as close as she used to, and so we just haven't been seeing each other much, so it was just weird.
So here's where it gets really crazy, because Say didn't see this happening when it happened. She like went up to go to the bathroom, but I saw Jennifer go sit over next to her husband and then start whispering something in his ear, like while everybody was hanging out.
And my husband doesn't entertain this stuff, so like Mary she knows.
Yeah,
she knows what
he was
happened.
not, but she was definitely very close to him.
And so Mary pulls me aside and she tells me all this stuff that happens after I get out of the bathroom. And basically we both walk out together only to find that Jennifer is like doing that stupid pygmy thing where she's like, oh, look at our hands. Oh my God, look at that. Oh.
So fast forward to later in the night, everybody's like kind of drunk, and
Jennifer's drunk.
Yeah, she was really, really drunk. And we're all like, okay, bathroom break. All the girls go to the bathroom. And she starts crying.
And so obviously, since I'm not trying to like read into anything too quickly, I go and I ask her, Jennifer, like, what's wrong? And she doesn't tell me anything. But then.
Then Jennifer texts me while we're all in the room hanging out together. And she says, I can't do this anymore. And I text her back and I'm like, what do you mean you can't do this anymore? Like, we're all just hanging out. And she was like, I can't stand being in a room with Say and her husband because I'm in love with him.
Okay, but then this part really made me the most angry is she's back on the couch, she's drunk, and she basically just starts trying to sit like as close as she can to my husband, and I'm like just like subtly trying to, sit on my husband's lap, trying to, mark my territory, saying, hey, like, back off.
And then I decided to get up in front of everybody and say, hey, and show everybody the text and say, Jennifer's in love with Say's husband. And everybody was super awkward and nobody really said anything. We ended up all leaving, and needless to say, we don't talk to Jennifer anymore.
And this was a story about Mary in my dream the other night.
Did it really?
Damn. So now she's mad at her husband for a dream. That's crazy. All right, let's see what we got next.
My sister stole my husband, so now I'm watching their world collapse. Story time. So me and my husband, or ex-husband, recently got married, and by recently I mean the past 5 months. We had been dating for about a year, and then we got engaged and we got married within the next year. So we had officially been dating for 2 years when we got married. And it only took my sister a whole 5 months to steal him from me. However, there is a little bit of a backstory on me and my husband, so let me bring you into it. So let's call my husband Mark and my sister Natalie.
Foundation is a very different color. Okay.
Now, once upon a time, 5 years ago, they dated. It weren't kind of just like you're dating, like she lost her V to him. It was quite a serious relationship for her. However, Mark didn't really care too much. Like, he obviously liked her and he cared for her, but the relationship in itself wasn't like his priority. That relationship ended badly, so you can kind of imagine the reaction they all had when me and Mark started dating. As a little FYI, Mark is in my year, not in my sister's. I don't know, it was always strange to me that she went for Mark because I always had a crush on Mark when I was younger, so it was a bit of a full circle moment. But I guess I did technically steal her boyfriend. Well, Natalie hated that I was dating Mark. She absolutely despised it, and she hated it even more when we got engaged.
So she stole, oh my gosh, so she stole the boyfriend first. Then her sister got petty. She said, it's fine. Dang.
Now, obviously, I did speak to Natalie about this. We did have grown-up conversations, and she told me eventually that she forgave me and that she was actually really, really happy that me and Mark were engaged at the time. I thought, great. No family feud. I'm with the man of my dreams. What can go wrong? One thing I should mention is that Mark had pre-wedding nerves. By this, he went into an absolute state of distress. I wasn't sure if he even wanted to go ahead with the wedding, and then we talked through it. I thought it was just because he was nervous, which is completely fine and normal. However, he has literally yesterday just admitted to me that he had these feelings because he never lost feelings for my sister. I found out about the affair in quite like a typical way, like it was nothing too drastic. I just walked in on them both, like it was like a normal way to catch a cheater. You can best believe I left the same day, the same minute I was out of that house. Anyway, I have obviously filed for divorce and never speaking to my sister ever again. I'm so happy about it.
Wow, even though she kind of did it first. Well, it'll get you. All right, let's see who's next.
Morning, guys. I just want to say, I keep seeing these videos where friends are taking your spouse or marrying your husband and all, your ex-husband, all that stuff. I keep seeing it on TikTok. I want y'all to know that my mom taught me and always taught me. She said, don't have too many people around that good man. Don't have too many friends coming to your house and you invited, no ma'am. She said, don't do it. And I live by that to this day. I live by that to this day. And I think that as my mom is a black mother, of course, and she just raised me well, where you got to be wise. You can trust, but sometimes you got to be cautious. And you just got to protect that home of yours. If you in a good home, don't have too many friends around your spouse, honey. It's okay for a birthday. It's okay for a party. But every day, and then your friends should not have your husband's phone number at all. None of them. They can have your mother's phone number and your daddy's phone number, but they should not have your husband's phone number. That's how black black people are raised. I mean, I just keep saying it, and I not saying it won't happen, but I'm just saying, like, it's sad. Protect your home. Pray over your husband. Pray over your husband. Pray over your friends.
Cooked. Yeah, you're cooked. All right, let's see who's next.
Like treating me badly or anything, but I could tell a kind of
My best friend who was my maid of honor at my wedding stole my husband.
distance a little bit.
Women are evil, man. Like, female friendships. Do you know what? The other day, because sometimes I'll go out places and people think I'm a little odd because if I go somewhere, a lot of times I just go by myself. I'm kind of like kind of weird, you know. And like women will be like, well, like, don't you have a lot of female friends? And some, like, I do, but there's just such a low ROI on female friendship in my head, because I think to myself, they're the ones that are going to like tell your business to everybody. So if you have like, if you tell them a secret, they'll tell everybody. They'll just nag you. And then eventually they'll crash out on you or steal your husband, apparently. I know I am a little bit of a loner. I'm a people person, but I know I can't have a lot of female friends. I just can't.
And so I would speak to him about it, and I would say, I can tell like something is wrong, like there's something is not okay, something isn't right, like what's going on, have I done something wrong, all of this stuff. And he would just kind of brush it off and be like, oh, nothing. Christmas of 2017, so December going into 2018, we were just in the car, we went shopping, we're in the car. I just turned to him and I said, hey, we're about to go into a new year, like whatever it is, let's just put it behind us. Like, just talk to me. Let's just start afresh, that sort of thing. And then that's when he said to me, Tosin, I don't want to be married to you anymore. So I was blindsided. I had no clue. So it was very confusing for me. Anyway, to cut the long story short and to avoid the confusion, it was only later I actually found out that the main reason he actually wanted a divorce is because he was having an affair with my best friend.
I can't think of anything worse other than a sister.
And he did move on with my best friend. So it wasn't just somebody that I just met. Like she was my maid of honor at the wedding. The heartbreak and the loss was not just from the perspective of the marriage. I was also grieving the loss of a friend. So it was kind of happening at the same time. But it was a combination of different things, I believe, that contributed to my healing. Yeah.
Now, again, all these stories are going to be the female-friendly version of the story, but... All right. Oh, I knew this. Oh, I knew this story. Oh, yeah, Shania Twain took the L.
So I said, Marianne, don't you think that my husband is acting strange? And she got very defensive and said, how could you think such a thing? That I would ever lie to you about anything. The whole innocent friend, even with a tear in her eye. She's a great actress.
Can you imagine? She probably was more pleasant to be around. That'll do it over time, because Shania looks way better than her.
She deserves an Academy Award. How could I be so stupid? I really didn't see that coming.
Did you really want to die when this happened?
The fact that my friend
Oh my gosh.
knew that she was going to hurt my family but did it anyway. I have a hard time with that.
Women don't care. They don't. They're going to do what's in their best interest.
Begged her, find love somewhere else, from someone else. It just isn't right.
She never expected that in 10 million years.
What did her best friend's husband have to do with it?
She was really, really heartbroken.
Was any of this revenge?
I don't want to go into details of that because I don't think it's necessary.
Oh yeah, I forgot. And then Shania Twain started dating her best friend's husband. They basically swapped.
My own friend.
Yeah. This tells me that Shania was probably awful to be with, and her friend was friendly and did anal.